Welcome to the Prime Desk on S24 Television, live from the capital city, Abuja. Bringing you the latest news in Nigeria and around the globe. I am Hadiza Galadima. But first, the headlines. Fire raises hundreds of shops in Ibadan. TUC pickets Abuja hotel over labor practices. US launches economic D-Day against Iran. And now, the news in full. Hundreds of shops have been destroyed after a midnight fire swept through the popular Orion Market in Ibadan, Oyo State. The fire, which reportedly started around midnight, affected several sections of the market, with traders dealing in gold, furniture, second-hand clothing, and other goods amongst those whose businesses were destroyed. Eyewitnesses say the blaze spread rapidly through parts of the market. The chairman of the Oyo State Fire Services, Maruf Akiwande, confirmed the incident, saying the fire reportedly started in the middle of the market following an explosion. He said the cause of the explosion had not been established and cautioned against putting a definite figure on the numbers of shops destroyed until a full assessment is completed. According to the fire service, the situation was brought under control at around 1 a.m., but the extent of the losses remains subject to post-fire assessment. Traders are now counting the cost of lost goods, properties, and livelihood. The incident has renewed concerns over recurring market fires in Oyo State. It comes barely 2 days after another fire destroyed 9 locked-up shops at the Nigerian Railway shopping complex along Aleshiloye Market Road in Ibadan. A similar fire at the harbour section of Orion Market in 2024 reportedly destroyed more than 200 shops. Authorities are expected to investigate the immediate and underlying causes of the latest inferno, while affected traders face the challenges of rebuilding businesses and recovering from the losses. The Trade Union Congress, TUC, has picketed the Abuja Continental Hotel over alleged unfair labor practices, poor working conditions, and concerns over workers' rights to unionize. The action was led by the Hotel and Personal Service Senior Staff Association, an affiliate of TUC. The union says its grievances include alleged restriction on freedom of association and the inability of workers to freely organize under a union. The union also alleged that repeated efforts to meet with the hotel management over the issues had been rebuffed. The protest has disrupted normal activities at the hotel, with the entrance blocked by the workers. As of the time of reporting, the union was attempting to lock the hotel gate, but police officers and some hotel officials resisted the move. The confrontation has added tension to the industrial action in the nation's capital. The dispute centers on labor conditions and the rights of workers to organize. Issues remain central to industrial relations and workplace protection in Nigeria. The development is likely to put further attention on the relationship between employers and organized labor, particularly over compliance with workers' rights and mechanism for resolving industrial disputes. The executive chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service, Dr. Zak Adedeji, has the federal government's economic reforms, describing the removal of the petrol subsidy as the best thing to happen to Nigeria. While officials' figure points to expanding government revenues, citizens continue to weigh those claims against rising transportation fares and living costs. Martha Opalanidu has the reports.
A bold structural reform to save the economy or an unbearable weight on daily survival. That remains the debate following claims by the Nigerian Revenue Service Chairman, Dr. Zak Adedeji, that removing the petrol subsidy saved the country from financial collapse.
Before you remove subsidy, you're supposed to provide alternatives. If you check it, no driver now is happy. any commercial driver. Meanwhile, everybody that is driving a car now is a taxi driver. Even Jeep, then they carry passenger so that they will add up to what they have to buy the fuel. So I didn't see anything good about it.
The ripple effects extend far beyond transport. Artisans and small service providers are passing higher energy and operating costs directly down to the consumer.
Life is balanced. One thing about life is that you know what you do, the more you feel good, just adapt to it.
When official balance shifts, the government insists that retaining the subsidy was no longer sustainable. But here on the streets, citizens are asking a fundamental question. Where are the immediate benefits of those saved trillions?
Well, for me, I can say that it's the worst thing that happened, especially in this condition we have. Okay, if they remove the fuel subsidy, for there to be a better of Nigeria, where is the subsidy money going? We are not seeing it, we are not getting information about the record of where the fuel subsidy money is going. We are just here struggling.
Despite widespread discontent over fuel costs, some residents acknowledge slight improvements in utilities like power supply, even as they urge stronger economic relief.
Yeah, in fact, the first subsidies, as I think, will be the best for this country if government could have utilized it the best way they promised us before. You know, the first subsidy removal has been a lot of hardship to us. I've seen them doing some work. In terms of roads, infrastructure, I think they are trying. And when terms of light, at least they are trying to, you know, for some time now. At least, but in terms of infrastructure, is zero.
While the governments are saying that this will benefit Nigeria economy in the long run, many Nigerians are still talking about the effect this has on their everyday lives. So over to you. Where do you stand in this? Do you see light at the end of the tunnel? Or should the government go back to review that policy? Martha Opalanedu, reporting for S24 Television.
The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, has given 31 companies that won 37 oil and gas blocks in the 2025 licensing round a deadline to pay their signature bonuses or risks losing their provisional awards. The companies have been given until October 19, 2026 to fulfill the financial obligation. The Commission's warning comes about a month after the successful bidders emerged from the commercial bid process. The provisional awards covered 37 oil and gas blocks secured by the 31 successful companies under the licensing round. NUPRC says failure to meet the payment requirements within the stipulated period could lead to the loss of the provisional awards. The deadline is significant for Nigeria's upstream petroleum sector as the government seeks to translate the licensing round into actual investment and development of the country's hydrocarbon resources. The Commission's position also underscores the financial commitment attached to winning oil and gas assets, with successful bidders expected to meet the conditions attached to their provisional awards. The development will now place pressure on the affected companies to complete the required payments before the October deadline and retain their rights to the blocks awarded to them. From Nigeria's push for global land restoration to corporate calls for deeper sustainability and Sicily's struggle under Mount Etna's ash cloud, we explore how resilience are being tested and redefined across continents. Olawale Omotego has the reports.
The federal government of Nigeria is taking its land restoration agenda to the global stage at COP17 in Mongolia. Minister Balarabe Abbas Lawal stressed that Nigeria must move beyond emergency drought responses towards long-term resilience. Plans include scaling up the Great Green Wall, promoting conservation, agriculture, and agroforestry, and investing in grazing reserves and water points to ease farmers' herders' tension. Officials say restoring degraded land is key to food security, conflict prevention, and climate adaptation, positioning Nigeria as a leader in resilience across Africa. Meanwhile, in the corporate sector, Seplat Energy is urging Nigerian businesses to embed sustainability into their core strategies rather than treating it as a corporate social responsibility. Executives argue that renewable energy adoption, emission reduction, and community development must be integrated into everyday operations. Sustainability, they insist, is no longer optional. It is a driver of competitiveness, innovation, and investor confidence. This reflects a wider shift in Nigeria's energy industry, where firms are under pressure to align with climate goals and ESG standards. Across Europe, residents of Sicily are living under the shadow of Mount Etna's ash cloud. Locals describe the situation as a nightmare, with ashfall causing respiratory illnesses, eye irritation, and cardiovascular stress, while doctors report spikes in medical visits during eruptions. The economic toll is heavy. Flights are grounded. Tourism suffers, and families spend hours cleaning ash without adequate municipal support. Some experts propose reclassifying volcanic ash as a raw material for construction, turning waste into value, while others call for rapid ash removal systems modeled on Japan's volcanic management practices. For now, Sicilians continue to balance resilience with frustration as they cope with the fallout.
For children from disadvantaged backgrounds, access to quality education can be a pathway to a better future. In a bid to bridge that gap, Platinum Billionaires Minds Free School has provided free education and practical skills to children from less privileged families. The school has now graduated its pioneer students, marking a milestone in their academic, creative, and personal development. Our correspondent, Hajara Suleiman, reports.
At a time when education is becoming increasingly a financial burden for many families, Platinum Billionaires Minds Free School is offering a different path by providing free education to children from less privileged backgrounds. Beyond classroom learning, the school equips students with practical skills through skill acquisition programs, creativity, mentorship, and hands-on training in handicraft. The initiative is designed to help students develop the confidence and skills needed to becoming self-reliant and productive members of the society.
Nigeria has the largest number of out-of-school children in Africa, and we are ranked number 3 globally. And everybody has been complaining about this. It seems nobody is doing anything about it. So I took up the challenge to solve this problem by the special grace of God, and then God has been helping us for the past 7 years.
The school recently celebrated the graduation ceremony of its first set of students, marking a major milestone in its mission to make quality education accessible to students regardless of their economic backgrounds. Students who demonstrated outstanding academic performance and exceptional commitment during their studies were also recognized and awarded for their achievements.
This is a great achievement to our school, and it's something we have been looking forward to. The students are actually happy, and I would say for me, I'm very, very, very grateful to God for making this day very successful, because it's one of our dreams to take our children from the trenches, the places they have, to come and see life beyond the village, beyond that remote area, to see that you can become everything we have been teaching them. So to see it's real life, and bringing them here is a great achievement to us. And having to graduate one of our best students, we know we have many best students, but for this set, we have so many intelligent students among them. And I'm very, very grateful to God for making this possible.
Platinum is a school where dreams and talents of students are being nurtured. When I started the school, I never heard anything about the engineering department, the medical department. I was like, oh, I hated maths. But now I stand before you as the best student, the overall best student in my class, loving maths.
The graduation ceremony highlighted the importance of combining formal education with practical skills to prepare young people for a future of independence, creativity, and meaningful contributions to the society.
Not just my family alone. I've, on my own, been able to get people that needed it most. Those in the community and far from the community too. Truly, positively, it has become a means of bringing the children united, hardworking, educational-wise, and also conventional-wise, because it provides them with other opportunities, not just the school setting alone, to build them to be self-dependent after the school. There's life after school. Now, apart from getting the school education, you have to be empowered yourself, so I will not have the lazy student syndrome.
And also how this physical impacted my life is because this physical made me so much to know about I'm a leader, I have to take responsibility. It made me to know that I can become a CEO of my company. And also it made me to know that people at a tender you can have lands of their own and impact other lives. I never forget where you came from. I always impact others with your knowledge.
Hajara Suleiman for S24 Television.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, is mobilizing religious leaders across Katsina State to strengthen child vaccination and improve access to essential healthcare services. The initiative brings together imams, pastors, and other religious leaders across the state's 34 local government areas, leveraging their influence and community platforms to promote vaccination, nutrition, education, healthcare, and child protection. UNICEF says the religious leaders are being encouraged to use platforms such as Friday's prayers, Islamic schools, and church services to sensitize families on the importance of childhood vaccination and other health interventions. The campaign also seeks to encourage parents to ensure their children receive routine vaccinations, while pregnant women are urged to attend antenatal care and families are encouraged to take action against malnutrition. The strategy reflects the importance of trusted community voices in addressing vaccine hesitancy and improving acceptance of essential health services. UNICEF has similarly highlighted the role of faith leaders in strengthening childhood vaccination and community health in Nigeria, with religious institutions playing a significant role in community mobilization. UNICEF and its partners hope the initiative will help increase demand for vaccines and improve health outcomes for children and families across Katsina State. The Ekiti State government says it is strengthening its partnership with the One Life initiative to expand access to comprehensive reproductive health care services for women and girls across the state. The State Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Dr. Oyebanji Filani, said the government is prioritizing the training and retraining of healthcare workers as part of efforts to improve health outcomes and advance universal health coverage. Filani spoke in Ado-Ekiti during the closing ceremony of a 5-day training program organized in partnership with One Life Initiative. The program brought together healthcare providers who were trained on updated methods, tools, and drug supplies for reproductive health services. The government says the collaboration is designed to strengthen service delivery and ensure women have access to accurate information and quality services to make informed decisions about their health. It also says the initiative is aimed at ensuring women, regardless of age, location, or background, can access respectful reproductive health care. One Life Initiative says it will continue working with the state governments to scale up the program across all 16 local government areas. The organization says the training also focused on updated knowledge, skills, and counseling techniques for comprehensive, rights-based, and non-judgmental reproductive health services. Officials say strengthening frontline healthcare capacity is expected to improve service delivery and contribute to reducing maternal death associated with preventable reproductive health complications, including those linked to unsafe abortion. If you're just joining us, you are watching the Prime Desk on S24 television. Stay tuned for our international news coming up after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Two high-profile murder cases are drawing international attention today, with major legal proceedings underway in Australia and the United States. In Australia, convicted murderer Erin Patterson has begun an appeal against her conviction and life sentence over the death of her three relatives who consumed a meal containing deadly mushrooms. Meanwhile, in the United States, the murder trial of Massachusetts mother Lindsay Clancy continues, with her defense arguing that severe mental illness played a role in the death of her three children. Mariam Delhatu has the reports.
Tensions are rising on two major fronts of the international stage, where Washington's planned economic pressure on Tehran to Ukraine, where another Independence Day is marked under the shadow of war. Here are the stories making the international headlines. The United States is preparing to announce sweeping new economic measures against Iran, with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent describing the campaign as an economic D-Day. Washington says the sanctions are designed to increase pressure on Tehran and target Iran's oil trade and those helping the country maintain access to international markets. Iran has warned that any country cooperating with the new measures could face retaliation. Tehran is also demanding an end to the U.S. naval blockade and the withdrawal of American forces from the region. China is also pushing back against Washington's approach, warning that it will protect its legitimate interest amid the threats of sanctions on businesses involved in Iranian oil trade. The escalating pressure is already being felt in Iran, where the country's currency has fallen to a record low against the US dollar, while uncertainty over the Strait of Hormuz continues to raise concerns about global energy supplies. Meanwhile, attention turns to Ukraine, where the country is marking its 35th Independence Day amid its ongoing war with Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine wants peace but will not surrender its independence or accept peace at any price. European leaders have gathered in Kyiv to demonstrate continued support for the country. UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham and European Council President Antonio Costa are among those meeting with Zelensky as Ukraine continues to seek military and political backing from its allies. Celebration comes as fighting continues, with Russia and Ukraine carrying out further drone and missile attacks. The war has now entered its fifth year, with Kyiv still pressing for stronger international support and security guarantees. From mounting economic pressure on Iran to Ukraine's determination to defend its independence, global tension remains high, with diplomacy, security, and the future of international relations all hanging in the balance. Mariam Delhatu, reporting for S24 Television.
Now a break from politics and current affairs as we bring you the latest from the world of entertainment. If you are still watching Prime Desk on S24 television, we are now moving to our explainer segment. Beyond the headlines, we provide the facts, context, and the key details you need to better understand today's bigger story. Stay tuned.
The Lake Chad region, spanning Nigeria, Niger, Chad and Cameroon, has remained one of Africa's most volatile security flashpoints, despite years of military campaigns against terrorist groups such as Boko Haram and ISWAP. Although governments have recorded several battlefield victories, violence continues to claim lives and displace millions. So, why has achieving lasting peace become an almost impossible task? One of the biggest drivers of insecurity is the shrinking of Lake Chad itself. Over the past decades, the lake has dramatically reduced in size, depriving millions of fishermen, farmers, and herders of their primary source of income. As poverty deepens, extremist groups find it easier to recruit frustrated young people with promises of money and purpose. Experts often say terrorism thrives where governments fail to provide opportunities. Many unemployed youths become vulnerable to radicalization, especially in communities where education, healthcare, and jobs are scarce. Another challenge is poor governance. Citizens often lose confidence in governments they believe have failed to deliver security and basic services. This trust deficit creates fertile ground for criminal gangs and insurgent movements. The 4 Lake Chad countries share thousands of kilometers of poorly monitored borders. Terrorists frequently move across these borders to evade security forces, making coordinated military operations difficult. Another major issue is the continuous flow of weapons into the region. The collapse of Libya in 2011 triggered an influx of illegal weapons across the Sahel. Many of these arms eventually found their way into the hands of insurgents operating around the Lake Chad, and this, of course, gave the insurgents more grit to sustain the fight against security forces. One big question that has remained on the lips of many is if indeed there is an end in sight. Over the years, security experts have argued that military action alone cannot end terrorism. Governments must invest in education, infrastructure, agriculture, and employment while rebuilding trust with affected communities, and the communities themselves must also be willing to partner with relevant authorities to protect the dignity and sanctity of their lands. Without addressing the root causes of extremism, military victories may only provide temporary relief.
Now let's join S24's Quiet Linus for a roundup of the biggest entertainment news making waves today.
Afrobeat singer Magic is mourning the death of his mother, Esther. The Marvin record artist announced her passing in an emotional tribute shared on X on Sunday, saying he was still struggling to come to terms with the loss. Magic described his mother as a fighter who remained strong for her family and others despite battling illness for 6 years. He also praised her kindness, wit, and free spirit, describing her as his reason, guardian, twin, and everything. The singer said words could not fully express his grief, but vowed to carry her memory with him. Fans, colleagues, and other members of the entertainment industry have since flooded the singer with messages of condolence. Magic is known for songs including Love Don't Cost a Dime and Overtime. Meanwhile, attention is shifting from music to Nollywood, where a new film is set to hit cinemas in September. Filmmakers Tola Udusi and Bola Atta have announced September 11, 2026 as the cinema release date for their new film, 19. Written and directed by Udusi, the film features a cast of notable Nigerian actors. 19 follows Ndubuisi, a brilliant young man whose life is shaped by corruption and poverty. His journey takes him from boyhood to manhood, and from a dreamer to a notorious cybercriminal. The producers say the film explores transformation, ambition, and the consequences of choices people make. And finally, from Nollywood to Hollywood, a major casting decision has been made for one of the most anticipated video games adaptation. Former WWE star David Bautista has been cast as Kratos in Prime Video's upcoming God of War series. Bautista confirmed the long-rumored casting on Instagram, following weeks of speculation. He takes over the role after Ryan Hurst reportedly exited the production following an injury. Production is expected to start later this year. The series will follow the storyline of the acclaimed 2018 God of War game, which sees Kratos and his son, Atreus, embark on a journey to fulfill the final wish of Kratos' late wife. Batista is widely known for his role as Drax in Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, as well as appearances in Dune, Spectra, and Glass Onion. And that's the latest from the world of entertainment. Stay with us for more stories making the headlines. Line is Squared, S24 Television.
Thanks for staying with us. Now happening in the world of sports, Mohamed Salah makes a flying start in Turkey, while Samuel Chukwueze shines for AC Milan, while Erling Haaland's new look grabs attention in England. Uduakan Gospower has the reports.
Mohamed Salah has wasted little time making his mark in Turkey, scoring twice to fire Trabzonspor to a 2-1 victory over Istanbul Başakşehir in the Super League. The Egyptian needed just 8 minutes to open his account, capitalizing on a mistake from the Başakşehir goalkeeper to put Trabzonspor ahead. The host responded from the penalty spot, but Salah had other plans. Just 3 minutes into the second half, the former Liverpool forward combined with a teammate in a quick 1-2 before finishing to restore Trabzonspor's lead. Salah actually had 2 more goals ruled out during the match, but his brace was enough to secure Trabzonspor's first league win of the season. It is an encouraging start for the 34-year-old who joined the Turkish club on a free transfer after leaving Liverpool. And while Salah is already making headlines in Turkey, another Nigerian is making his mark in Italy. Samuel Chukwueze has been named man of the match after helping AC Milan begin the Ruben Amorim era with a 2-1 victory away to Torino. The Nigerian started as a right wing back and showed his attacking quality throughout the game. He then played a key role in Milan's second goal, providing the assist for Adrien Rabiot to put the visitors ahead. For Chukwueze, the performance represents an important confidence boost after a difficult spell at the club. Speaking after the match, the Nigerian said he was happy to start the season this way and that the performance gives him confidence. But he was quick to look forward, saying the game is already in the past and his focus is now on the next one. And in England, it was Erling Haaland's new look that grabbed attention before Manchester City's Premier League opener against Bournemouth. The Norwegian turned heads by cutting off his trademark long blonde hair, and one fan on X joked that Haaland had lost his power after cutting it off. But the joke became even more interesting when Haaland failed to find the net. Bournemouth took the lead before City produced a dramatic late comeback. McGahey equalized in the 84th minute and Yoko Gvardiol completed the turnaround in stoppage time to give City a 2-1 victory. So, maybe Haaland's haircut really did take away a little bit of his power after all. Thankfully for City, they still had enough power elsewhere to get the 3 points. Udokan Gotspar reporting for S24 Television.
This brings us to the end of Prime Desk on S24 Television. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. A midnight fire has destroyed hundreds of shops at Orion Market in Ibadan. Traders are counting losses as authorities investigate the cause. TUC has picketed Abuja Continental Hotel over alleged unfair labor practices. The protest disrupted operations as workers demanded better conditions. And finally, the U.S. has launched tougher economic measures against Iran. Washington says the sanctions would target Tehran's financial lifelines. Do join us tomorrow, same time, and remember to follow us on all our social media handles at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. My name is Hadiza Galadima. Bye for now.